Hey guys, and welcome to Milestone Mom's YouTube channel. I am so excited that you're here. And I am just excited in general about this video because as a pediatric developmental therapist for the past 10 years, I get asked all of the time, what is your favorite educational toy? What is your favorite educational game? What are really good books? What are really good puzzles? And guys, I'm excited because Christmas is coming up and Christmas is my favorite holiday. And I'm able to share with you things that I've either used in my practice, seen other therapists use, or seen other parents have that I am in love with. So if you are interested in this, make sure you stick around. If you missed last week's video, make sure you watch it here. It is about what an occupational therapist is and what they do for the early intervention program. So guys, stick around and I'll see you here in a minute. I am sharing with you several toys that I feel are educational for your toddler. So there's going to be a few different categories and I will link to every single one of them in the description below, but I just wanted to talk about a few today so you can kind of get an idea. So happy shopping because I know how stressful Christmas shopping can be, but here we go, guys. Here's some of my ideas. And if you see me looking over here, it's because I'm looking at my notes, okay? All right, so here we go. One of the first things we're going to talk about is learning tablets. Now, I know tablets and phones are like a big deal, but there are some that are actually made for toddlers that I'm really happy with. And one of them is called the Learning Tablet for Kids. And it runs about $16.95 on Amazon at the time I'm making this video. And like I said, it will be linked below. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is board games. Guys, it's not too early to start playing board games with your toddlers. And there are a lot of toddler board games out there, and even some original fun ones that I grew up. Think Candyland or Chutes and Ladders. I mean, it's okay if you're not playing it right if you're dealing with a young toddler, but they actually do get the concept of moving and going back down the ladder, and it's a lot of fun for them. So those are two games that I recommend, Candyland and Chutes and Ladders. And like I said, there will be a link in the description, and also something called Peaceable Kingdom Hoot Owl game. And this is a fun game made up of owls, and it's actually guided towards toddlers. So you have to check that one out for Christmas if you are planning on buying for a toddler. Okay, moving on, musical instruments. I know, I can't say enough about musical instruments. Sometimes they drive parents crazy with the banging and the cymbal shaking, but kids love music. We actually have a developmental therapist in our area that is a music therapist, and kids love it. Kids that are autistic, sensory processing disorder, typically developing children, kids with speech concerns, it doesn't matter. They love it when Anna comes in and plays her guitar and plays her music. So music therapy is a huge thing for kids. And so I had to put some musical instruments in this gift guide for you for sure. And so there's a couple different ones that I'm going to link to below. There's actually one that I love. A mom had it in her house when I went, and her child was playing it, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It's actually a toddler piano. So you'll have to check that out, and you can get that on Amazon as well. And then the next category I'm talking about is engineering toys. And so this is all of the building. So obviously the Legos. And there's things called, it's actually called Mags Bricks 40 Magnetic Building Set. Kids love those. I saw a occupational therapist have one of those and was working with kids with that one day, and they were sitting there forever playing with it. And that runs about $23 right now on Amazon, and that will be in the link as well. And then the bristle blocks. Guys, you remember those? They feel kind of weird, but they actually snap together. That's really good for eye-hand coordination, fine motor skills, and even some kiddos that have some sensory issues with touch. You know, some of them either like those or they don't like them. But I wanted to add those in for you guys as well. And then we can't forget puzzles, right? Obviously working with that fine motor piece. And I'm linking to some Melissa and Doug puzzles, the bigger knobbed ones. So we've got like a farm one, and there's just like an animal one, like a cat and a duck and a dog, and there's a fish one. And then I did, the ones I really like to use are the sound puzzles. So this one actually comes in a set of 3 that I've linked to, and it is, let's see, it looks like ambulance and animals, like farm animals, and some music. So when you put the puzzle pieces in, it actually makes music, and kids love that. And then I had to link to this next one as well. It's the Melissa and Doug wooden latch puzzle. You are able to turn things and like undo the lock and turn things, and kids just love that. They will sit and play with this puzzle forever, and it's really good, again, with that fine motor piece. So that is puzzles. And then we have books. We cannot forget books, and I even included one in here called P is for Potty, because I know a lot of you mamas out there are struggling with potty training. So P is for Potty, and it is a Sesame Street book, and it is a loved one of all of ours. So that one, and then I linked to 10 Little Ladybugs board books. And who doesn't love board books, especially beginning readers, right? If we don't get board books, they're going to tear out the pages anyway. And you can work on counting the little ladybugs with your child, some of that beginning counting, some of that cognition. And then I linked to a quiet book. So it is a book that has different things on each page that they can do. There's like buttons and tying of shoes, or just playing with the shoestrings. And like I said, all of these are linked below. Guys, so happy Christmas shopping. And they're educational and they're fun. And I will tell you, every single one of these, I can tell you exactly why you're doing it. So this next one, I actually labeled it fine motor. So the fine motor skills that you can work on with your child. So there is a toy that comes with, oh goodness, what do I want to say? Oh, tweezers. And they're able to use the tweezers to get out the bee, right? I mean, that's amazing, right? And then you can also use those tweezers once you get them in a sensory bin. So give your toddler a sensory bin full of dried beans and put pom-poms in there, like the smaller pom-poms, and they have to try and get those pom-poms out with the tweezers. So great eye-hand coordination, fine motor skills. So one thing that you guys can do with your child is lacing. And this, depending on your child's age, can be difficult for your child or easy, especially if they're not ready for lacing yet. And one of the things, and I wish I had some here with me, one of the things that I show parents are those buttons that you can get from Walmart or like a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby. And they actually come in different colors and shapes, okay? And then you get a shoestring and you can start lacing those. But another thing I love with those buttons is you can use it for beginning skills of matching colors and also shapes. So guys, I'm kind of going out on a limb here. I'm getting sidetracked, but I have to say this because we're talking about lacing. So one of the things you could do is get a muffin tin. And if your child is just learning their colors and shapes, let's pick colors, for instance. Just give them 2, right? Give them a red button and a blue button. And they have to match the red button and the blue button. As they get better with colors, you can add another color. Okay, so then you might have a red and a blue and a green and a yellow, and they're able to match all those. So if they're just starting to identify their shapes, put in a circle and a square and allow them to match the circle and the square. You can also, there's enough buttons in there to where you can have a green circle and a blue square, and then all you give them is a green circle and a blue square. So they're identifying that color and also that shape. Okay. So we're talking lacing, okay? So one of the next thing is actually a lacing apple, but it's a bigger lacing apple that allows little hands to be able to lace. So if your child's not ready for those little buttons yet, and again, when I talk about these buttons, it's actually, I always say, okay, so I'm really big on defined play spaces. So yeah, your child has your toys. It has his or her toys, right, that he plays with all the time, that they play with. But there are some things that are just done, whether it be a little table and chair at your dining room, or whether it actually be at the dining room or kitchen table for your child. There's just certain activities that get pulled out at certain times. When mom is watching, when we can have a little bit of quiet time, we can work on Play-Doh, we can work on those matching skills, we can work on coloring. So define play space. There's just a few things that you need to have that you can bring out at those times. So those buttons aren't something that you would keep somewhere where your child can play with it every day, or the Play-Doh, right? Or the colors or anything like that. Kids love the defined play space, and they know, ooh, it's my time to play, right? And they get a little few extra things that normally just aren't out all the time for them to play with. Okay, so the apple, the wooden lacing apple, and then, okay guys, we call him Spike. We love Spike. He, you're able to take out the pegs and put them back in. And kids, guys, if you have a toddler, you know that they can sit for hours and put a peg in Spike and take the pegs out. If you have one of those piggy banks, you know that they can put the coins in and put the coins in and put the coins in forever. There's something about putting things in and taking things out that they love. That's why Spike is a really good toy to have. Okay, and then I went on to color sorting, which we kind of already talked about, but I linked to a few different other things. There is actually a Melissa and Doug stack board. Again, it's got your shapes and it's got your colors, right? And they just have to put them on a peg. It's linked below. And then, guys, the matching bears. I'm pretty sure like every therapist I've ran into has some matching bears and some cups. So the one that I linked to, I love it because it comes with the colored bears, the cups, and more tweezers. Okay, guys, if they're not ready for the tweezers, just have them do the colors. You know what? And if they're not even ready for colors, just have them put the bears in the cups. Some kids just love putting the bears in the cups and dumping them out. Putting the bears in the cups and dumping them out. That's just what they do. Because maybe they're not ready for color matching, and maybe they're not ready for the tweezers. Okay? But on some of our part of my standardized test is your child able to drop objects on demonstration. So show your child, oh, bye-bye bear. Or, oops. And then give your child a bear and see if they'll drop it. They can do that at 1 year old. So just have them do that. There's so many different things that you can do with it. Or you can line up the bears and then you can count the bears. And then I also linked to farmers market produce, which is so cute. And there's something else I didn't link to that my kids love. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. But this allows you to sort by color different kinds of produce. So have you guys seen and I don't know what brand it is, but you know what? I think I might add it to this. The Velcro fruits and vegetables that pull apart and you can actually cut them. Like it comes with a cutting board and a knife. Not a real knife, guys, but a plastic knife that you can cut. And how many kids want to cut, right? And you can't cut because you can't play with a knife. But these they love. And then it comes apart because it's Velcroed. I'm going to add that to this because I forgot. Okay, there's color sorting, and then I go over subscription boxes. There's several different things that you can do for that, even for some older children. So I wanted to make sure, like Kiwi Crate is a really good one, and Amazon even has a STEM club. Yeah, so that's also in there, especially if you want to look for some older kids. There are subscription boxes that are actually geared towards like 0 to 3, which is my category. That's my expertise. Okay, guys, so go find the link and start Christmas shopping on Amazon and have it delivered to you and wrap them and then be done and have peace of mind knowing that you are giving a toddler an educational gift. You don't want to miss it. My next video is going to be on sensory toys for kids. So all you SPD moms, autism moms, or a mom who's just looking for more toys, you want to make sure that you check that video out. So make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell, and I will see you very, very soon.